she was getting paid more money than some of the males, right?
But that's not what. But I don't agree with that either. I don't agree. If it's male sports, then it's guaranteed.
Yeah,
you just said that. But you did say that. You see what I mean? So it's like.
That's her opinion, but look at her status and look where she is.
Oh God! Don't use that one woman.
I disagree. I believe that females should get paid more than men.
Whoa, you should be sitting in your own kind of island somewhere over here. Like. Hello everybody, my name is Utomi and welcome to another episode of the 411. So what we're going to do first is go round the sofa to get everyone's opinion on whether they agree or disagree with today's question and who they are. So today's question is, should male and female athletes be paid equally?
Hi, my name is AJ and I disagree.
Hi, my name is Johnny and I disagree.
Hi, my name is Camilla and I disagree.
Hi, I'm Lauren and I agree.
Hi, my name is Shakira and I agree.
Hiya, Connor. I agree.
Right, so who should get this started? Jeez! Okay, Johnny, talk to us. Why do you feel female athletes should not be paid as male celebrities?
Okay.
Or athletes, should I say?
To keep it simple, if we're talking about why they should not be paid, I lay that in direct correlation with the amount of money that they generate and the commercial aspect of it all.
Jeez.
So it's not to say that I don't believe that they should be paid as much. If they generate as much commercial activity and income as a male athlete does, then why wouldn't they be paid the same? Fact of the matter is that they don't. From a social perspective, why they don't, I don't know. We can talk about that in a different debate, but it's it seems that the nations that watch a sporting event seem to focus and put all of their energy towards the male side of the sport, and the male side of the sports seem to generate a lot more money. So I'm just going to pick a name out of the hat. People complain about the amount of money that Paul Pogba earns, for instance, a Manchester United football player.
How much is he on?
He's on about £300,000 a week.
Yeah, money,
no one should be earning that.
Which is ridiculous because I think the average salary for a Premier League footballer is around £10,000. So not every footballer earns this astronomical amount of money. It's Paul Pogba does, and the reason that Paul Pogba does is because the day that he signed with Manchester United, they signed and sold X amount of football shirts that recouped the amount of money that it was to pay for his transfer fee and his salary. So he can back it, they've paid him. If a female athlete was to sign for a football club, they wouldn't generate the same amount of shirt sales, they wouldn't generate the same amount of revenue or income from gate receipts of people going to watch them. Therefore, where is the money going to come from to pay her?
Johnny. Wait. Okay, cool. So, who's got someone to
We need to ask why they're not going to bring in the same amount of money, and that's because everything is targeted towards a male audience. There's not there is plenty of female footballers, young aspiring footballers that are out there that would love to get a shirt with a female football, like a lioness's name on the back. But the market isn't there because the people that are in charge don't believe that the market is there, but it is, and that's all you're doing is targeting towards a male audience when it's such a waste of revenue to just completely ignore all the huge female audience that's out there.
I think that you need to kind of listen to what you're saying. You're saying that because somebody brings in more money, that they should be prioritized on. Now that same concept can be put into so many different things to do with race, to do with, sex, so many different arguments. So if you're going to open the ball game to put this argument to do with sports and different sexes, then this same argument can be used for race.
Just playing devil's advocate here. Obviously, Johnny raised a very good point about sort of commercial sort of appeal. Could you guys sort of maybe give some examples of sort of female athletes or sort of female sports?
Simone Biles is literally out there breaking every single record in existence.
Yeah.
So is that an exception or is that?
No. I'm saying that there has been especially in the last decade, there has been more women breaking records, redefining their fields than there has been men. Most men have actually been. It's been kind of going backwards, apart from a select few. like most male-dominated sports, it's not been very revolutionary. But female sports, every year there seems to be a new woman that comes out and is like breaking every single record. If it's not the Williams sisters, it's like Simone Biles. If it's not Simone Biles, it's the Lionesses. Like they constantly seem to be proving everybody wrong. But then every male athlete seems to be just in it for the paycheck. And that therefore they become lazy. They get a sense of entitlement. It's a sense of privilege that you shouldn't afford to somebody that their whole career is based on a skill.
Plus, no one's watching. When
Exactly.
you know people are watching, you're a bit more.
Yeah.
They gotta try twice
I
as hard.
actually agree with Johnny though. So obviously you disagree with the
But
question.
do you want to switch
Yeah,
sides?
you
Like,
No, because it's not that. I still agree, but for me, it's like I appreciate that it's about generating revenue and blah blah blah. Like so, Premier League players, for example, football players, they get paid more than a lower league team because they generate more revenue. I appreciate that, but to me, I see the question as should that happen? No, the
Yeah.
amount of effort and
That's the
time
thing.
and what you do, you should be paid for that.
Yeah.
So if you're putting the same amount of effort in, the same amount of time in, you should be paid for somebody else that's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not about
Where does the money come from?
that. To me, I see the question as though should it be the
Yeah,
case?
so we're looking at it from two different perspectives because Shakira was talking about you open it up to different topics when you're talking about race. and what
Yeah,
have
you're
you.
gonna open it up.
Maybe we agree on the same things with that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sports people. So Serena Williams, did she earn more money? I don't know much about tennis, right? But Serena
Federer. Or
no, not
Djokovic.
Federer because they're top of the game. So in the last year that Tim Henman was playing, who earned the most money, Serena Williams or Tim Henman? Yeah, I would argue that Serena Williams earned more money than Tim Henman did because she generates the revenue and the focus on what she's doing to be able to pay her that money, which is my point. Is I'm saying that I don't agree.
But that's the problem,
Isn't tennis
you're
different then?
sidestepping
Are we
everyone else's
marketing
point. You
men
said
more
my
then?
point's not even a
Tennis-
point. Like that's the thing.
Tennis
You're
is
just sidestepping
a sport
everything.
where you it's prize money rather than salary. So it can be argued it's different because with tennis you have to perform and win to get a certain amount of money, or you have to get sponsorships. Whereas with football, you get allotted a certain amount of money based on who you are and what you can bring to the club.
Right, so I agree with you there. Sponsorship deals. Okay, so who's the lady that won World Footballer of the Year? Megan Rapinoe. Okay, so she only played, I think, maybe 6 games last season, but she's been voted the best player in the world. I don't know how, if she's only played 6 games. Okay, there's a lot of female footballers that have played 35 games of a season and helped their team win the league. She seems to be like the poster lady for women's football.
We're talking
What
about
comes
male
with
sports.
but
now.
what comes with that attracts sponsorship deals. So if you receive money into your account, I would say you're getting paid for something. So if they attract a sponsorship deal, which means that they earn more than a man does, I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. I'm talking about an actual salary that is dictated upon signing an agreement and a contract to play for a football team. This is your salary. What happens outside of that is completely different. I'm literally talking about how much you get paid by a corporation to do the job that you're doing.
So you're about to say
But
something.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what I was.
So-
Okay. Here we
So
go.
I was going to say, I hear what you're saying. I agree with some of what you're saying. I also agree with some of what you're saying as well. But all in all, I disagree. The question is, should females get paid the same as males? I disagree. I believe that females should get paid more than men.
Whoa, you should be sitting in your own kind of island somewhere over here. Like, okay, let's hear this.
I'm all for it.
So there's a lot of athletes, female athletes, that are competing in early pregnancy and you don't know it. And they may be going through sickness or whatever else it is that comes with it. They're competing and you don't know about it. A woman menstruates every month. Their body
They
changes.
just
They
care
may
about
be
money
less
more.
able to do certain things, less comfortable to do certain things, and they're still doing it. So if anything, a woman should get paid more
So-
than a man.
I'm down
But
for
then,
it.
There's such things
then the
as-
argument comes
So-
in that they're like, oh, we need to like pay you less because you're gonna have more like things that go wrong. Like
They
you're
can
gonna
still
like,
do it. They can still do it.
For the
but
fact they
they're
are
being
doing it,
effective. They're
if
pushing
you are doing
themselves.
it,
Problem
And that's
is,
what
if
I
you
was
wanna
trying
be-
to say. It's
how-
something that you're doing because not everyone has the spotlight on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're working twice as harder than everybody else.
and if you want to be
But
female
how-
and
okay,
to be successful,
playing devil's advocate again. I'm not saying I agree with this side or agree with this side, but how does that work commercially? So how would you pay these female athletes this
It's
£300,000 a week?
super easy because you just
Please.
kind of you look at the revenue that you
Yeah.
get. You look at what you're paying the men,
Exactly.
and you look at what they're paying the women, and then you pay them equal and proportionate to the revenue that it's coming in, that's different.
So if the revenue coming in is Old Trafford, for example, being sold out every week, 80,000 people watching to see male sort of athletes, how do you generate that same revenue to pay the female athletes exactly the same as the guys? That's kind of what I'm...
This obviously all the money that comes in from male football goes somewhere. It goes to lining the pockets of the people that own the clubs. It goes to the advertisers, it goes to the marketers, it goes to all that. Take a portion of that and invest it into marketing and advertising the female team.
Advertising women.
At the end of the
So
day, the
you're
reason
saying-
why
So you're basically saying the money generated by male athletes should be split 50-50.
No, but they're getting that money because they're making
some of
it
the
better.
profit.
There's a couple of things I want to add to this whole
The
situation.
reason that money's coming in for them is
There's a
because
whole
they're being
lot of things I
marketed
want to
better.
add. There's a whole...
If marketing wasn't a thing, then it wouldn't be paid like.
Let's
I'm
Exactly.
literally going to throw a
It
spanner in the
goes
works
way
for this
back,
whole situation, right? There's like good points and there's some points like I want to like get people thinking on. Like one point is, we're all comparing all these athletes, females to males and stuff like that, but there's one common theme between these athletes that we're comparing. We're talking about people that play singular sports and not team sports, right? People, like, it's kind of comparing apples to oranges. Like, people like Simone Biles and stuff like that, they have the spotlight on them particularly, right? But in a team sport, you have a spotlight on, like, the whole teams itself, like, not one person shining, right? So it's a lot easier for someone, especially a female, in a sport where they're representing themselves to actually get more exposure, to get more money. And in some instances, some females do get paid more than men in some sports. For example, when Ronda Rousey was on top of her game, she was getting paid more money than some of the males, right?
But that's not. But I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that.
Let him land.
Let you guys finish, right? So, like, it all comes down to, like, the type of sport. So I feel like if you're playing a individual sport, you have a bit more of an advantage. Secondly, when it comes to generating revenue and stuff like that, depends on how much money you're bringing in should be like proportionate to like how much you get paid. So if you're bringing in a certain amount of money for like in terms of female sports, right, you could only get paid so much on how much you're bringing in. Second thing about that is, if you're going to pay everyone equally, so say how much a man gets paid in team sport and how much equally proportionate to a female sport, eventually the female sport is going to go bankrupt, because if they're not generating as much money as much as you're paying them in, eventually it's like the team's going to crash. So you're going to have to, like, you know, conserve something and try and invest something in.
But just going back, just going back to, I think it was Connor's point. That's going back to Connor's point, the marketing. So do you not think there needs to be more spotlight put on women's sports? Is that the reason why it's not doing as well as male sports? Because it's not. But when you watch
I never know when there's female games.
But when you watch TV, when was the last time you saw kind of Arsenal girls?
So can I just say one thing here? You'll have to do a search on this. The England women's football captain, I'm not sure what her name is, I know what she looks like. She got interviewed last week and she said, as a spokesperson for the women's national football team of England, that she would rather watch a male football match than a female football match.
That's her opinion.
That's her opinion, but look at her status and look where she is.
Oh God! Don't use that one woman.
That's like being a gay man instead of being a gay marriage.
Why is that?
Listen to
Okay, sorry,
I said that's her opinion, so I'm agreeing with you. It's her opinion. But my point being is, look at her reach and look at the platform that she's got, and she's said that. Yeah, so now you have to look at all of the people that have just listened to what she said, and they might go and look at men's football instead. My point being is what everyone, I'm agreeing with you somewhat, is that if we're talking about an individual sport, if that woman generates more money and gets paid more than the male person does, then I've got no issue with that.
But you said there was an issue with that. You said there's an issue with that's an issue as well.
With individual sport and stuff, obviously, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. Individual sport, it's more of a personality based thing. So like obviously like Conor McGregor and stuff is a complete arsehole, but he has developed such a fan base because he's such an arsehole.
I know he's a good fighter too.
Well, yeah, of course.
Prior to his like Mayweather.
But like you still,
obviously how you market yourself.
But you still have to develop a personality for people to want to book you in these big prestigious fights.
But that's what I'm getting at. Like as an individual, like how you're going to shine through a team. How's your personality going to shine through a team compared to that?
But
But what I'm saying is, there are women out there who are earning a lot more money, but we're comparing apples to oranges when it comes to individuals and team
That's
sports.
why I don't think you should use individual people as the basis for this argument. Like, so what I'm saying is that like people like Serena Williams, Ronda Rousey, and stuff, they get their stuff because they're individual. They have to develop personality and they have their own sponsorships.
But they get
team-based ones, in proportion to like so male footballers, female footballers, male rugby players, female rugby players, people on I don't know. Water polo, all that sort of stuff, it's proportionally different because we have lived in a society where it's a patriarchal society where we've established that men are the ones that should do combat, they should do sports, they should do everything physical. And it's only within the last like few decades that we've kind of gone around to the terms where women can do everything the same as men, and like we've started to invest small amounts of money. If you say to a woman that you are doing the same thing, you should only deserve this much, the connotations of that is saying that like what you do, even though it's exactly the same, isn't worth in society the same amount as what the man's doing. So if you put the same amount of money in to the woman as to the male, by like diverting some of the funds from the profits of male sports, eventually you'll develop kind of an esteem for that team that they are worth the same amount of money.
That's not guaranteed though. It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed because
if
you're doing what you're talking about, right? So let's say, okay, in a positive world where everything goes everywhere, like everywhere you want it to do go, you invest, you put the money, you do the marketing and everything like that, right? Let's just say no, people are still uninterested, even though you're doing advertising, like you're promoting the sport, you're providing like training facilities for people to develop, right? If people still aren't interested in it, you've wasted all that money, right? You're gonna go bankrupt. So it's one of those things that like, you're pretty much taking a big risk, but with a male sport, it's like almost pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
Second thing is, it also depends on location. If any of you guys ever lived in North America, a lot more female sports are shown on TV. They have a lot more channels dedicated to female sports. They get they get their viewing times and stuff like that. WNBA players get paid quite a bit of money, not as the same as men, but they have their own website, they have their own merchandising, they have their own facilities, they have their own channel, all that kind of stuff. But yet, a lot of people just aren't interested in watching female players play.
It's like saying to your kids, then your female daughters, don't bother even trying because you're not gonna get. There's no point. You're not gonna get paid as much as men, and you're not gonna get the same.
If it's male sports, then it's guaranteed.
Yeah, you just said that. You just say that. You see what I mean? So it's like saying, all right, fine, female daughters, yeah, just accept. You're never gonna get as much. You're never gonna get.
To build on what Mitchell, what you said. Sorry to interrupt you, and what you said, which is that people want to watch male athletes more. Let's think about why is that. I think that it's because of misogyny, really and truly.
Yeah,
because how do we want to see females being portrayed in the
Let's
media?
swap seats.
Do we
Let's swap seats quickly.
If you really want me to, I agree with. Well, to be fair, I don't agree with any of them because I think that women should get paid more. But as I was saying, it's due to misogyny. How do you want to see females being portrayed in the media? Do you want to see them do sports, or do you want to see them look sexy? Do you want to see them half naked? Do you want to see them dancing on your screen, showing their body? Maybe you're not attracted to watching them playing sports. So that's something to think about. And for that inconvenience alone, that women need to prove themselves further, they should get paid more.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders get paid more than the Dallas women's basketball team.
Wow.
But I must spit facts. Like, it doesn't matter, like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, women have come a long way from how things were back in. And I could almost guarantee that any woman now in today's age would not rather live what it was like before then, like back in the day, compared to now. And what's going to happen is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what direction we go in the future. There's always going to be narrow-minded people. That's always going to keep women back. Unfortunately, that's the truth, and that's just 100% real truth. Women can keep pushing, and I really do hope
Do you think the people that represent that idea is ever going to change? The males or females?
No, it's unfortunately, like, people's views and opinions can change, but the thing is, as a collective majority, it's never going to be seen that way for women. Like, they're always going to be finding
why do you think that?
because there's always going to be narrow-minded people out there. Like
Then-
you're never going to get rid of like narrow-minded people.
But then,
unfortunately.
if in that case, then what you need to do is be very vocal and say
Yeah,
that's like,
educate.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
but you could say
educate
that there's only
100%.
so much
It's
educating
true.
you could do. There's only so much educating.
And
you
the
could
more people that like are open saying this is not okay, the more it will become okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you think that, then what everyone needs to do is to go like, women should be paid the same.
Yeah, well, they're moving in the right. They're moving in the right direction. Like, women are doing a lot of incredible things. I could admit that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting them down. Like, I want to see them succeed, but like, what we're getting at in terms of the debate is, unfortunately, the way how the world is.
Yeah, but I don't think you should
always gonna
accept
be-
that, though.
It's going to be.
No,
You
they're
should
gonna be
never
held back.
accept
We
the
don't-
world.
I don't.
is
I don't
that
accept it
one
personally.
way.
I
If
will
you
push.
don't accept
I
it,
push.
pay women.
I push.
Put your-
Yeah, but
put your-
like,
put
it's
your-
not in
put
my
your money
power.
where
But
your
it's not in
mouth
my
is.
power.
With what? With what?
But it's not in my power.
What
It's
do
not
you
in my
mean
power.
by dealing with what?
What we've spoken about earlier, the revenue that the men's sport would bring to the game. My point being is that I have no issue. Listen, I don't care if women and male get paid the same. It doesn't bother me. I should hope that they do in the future. We are here having a debate today, and the fact of the matter is that today, generally, male athletes get paid more than women do. Okay, and the reasons because of that are because of the revenue that is brought in and they're paid with it. Okay, I'm not saying that 10, 20 years down the line that they shouldn't be paid the
All
same.
right, you're agreeing with that,
Okay,
yeah?
Yeah.
because naturally things evolve. So,
So
as
you have
a-
to make a
But
change
there's,
now.
like,
Listen.
historically, there's loyalty towards.
yeah, historically there's
towards-
loyalty. What we're saying over here is that like maybe in the future that there's going to be people that are always going to be pushing back against it. I disagree with that because I don't think there will be. If you look at it from a musical aspect, I used to do music back in the day, and people were not open to the idea of there being a black act out there doing what they're doing because people aren't ready for it. Okay, in the future, people will be ready for female sports. Where we are today, yeah, they're not as such. They're not as accepting.
That's why we all need to be
Okay,
really
on
loud
that
about
point,
it.
because
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna sort of escalate, and I don't know if anyone's opinions change. I think the point of the show is to sort of see, to sort of put out there sort of the opinions and different perspectives, and also to see if anyone's sort of perception on the topic or the debate has changed. So what we'll do is we'll go round, and we'll ask everyone's opinion to see if their thoughts on the subject has changed at all. So, AJ,
No, I haven't. My opinion hasn't changed.
do you, everything they said, you still think 100%?
They make some good points, and again, I'm still rooting for the women. But as the way how things are right now, I don't think they should.
Okay,
No, but it's realistic though.
Johnny.
In today's current climate, I don't believe that there should be.
Okay.
I don't think that men should say that they're rooting for women if they're not actively doing something, i.e. paying
Yeah.
women or being allies to feminists to make a change. So I still believe that women should get paid more than men.
Okay. Thank you for your island talk.
To me, the black and white of the question is: should women get paid the same? You should get, regardless of gender, you should get paid for the effort that you put in and what you do.
Well, it's 2019, basically 2020, so I think that women should get paid equally. It's about time.
I think like if you think that in the long run that it should be equal, then you should be demanding it now. So yeah, they should pay the same.
Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 411. You heard what our cast feel about the subject. Please let us know what you feel at home. Please put your comments below. Should male and female athletes be paid the same? What are your thoughts? Thank you for tuning in. Till next time, take care.